Well, we're going to get reaction now from Ukraine with our Kyiv correspondent, Gulliver Cragg, who joins me now live from there. Gulliver, what kind of reaction has there been so far about this new aid from the EU?
Well, I'm seeing lots of expressions of joy, or at the very least relief, on social media. Volodymyr Zelensky said that it was a very good thing that the European Union had done this as a bloc. It showed that the European Union was still united in its support for Ukraine. There is not exactly a feeling of surprise in Kyiv so much as relief that it happened quickly and that it didn't have to be achieved via another mechanism. But it had been pretty clear for some time now that the European Union would, one way or another, validate this money. But if they had to do it without Viktor Orban, it would have to be done another way. And it would, of course, not have sent that signal of unity that Volodymyr Zelensky was saluting. This is relief much more than joy. Nothing seems like a bonus. Everything seems in Kyiv like how terrible it would have been if this had not gone through. The Ukrainians need this money very, very badly. Of course, they're running a massive budget deficit. The money, it's worth underlining, is not for military support. That's decided by individual European countries. Separately, they provide arms and military support for Ukraine. This is for spending on reconstruction and reform and just keeping the economy afloat, actually, over the years to 2027. And of course, even if it isn't directly going to be spent on anything military, it does provide macro-financial stability for Ukraine, which allows it to continue to finance its own military spending, paying the salaries of soldiers, for example, knowing that there will be at least some EU funding to pick up the salaries of civil servants in other areas.
Some EU funding there, but this aid does come at a time when Western military support seems to be faltering.
Yes, and it was reported by Bloomberg that Rustem Umerov, the Ukrainian defense minister, had written to his European counterparts, really urging them to step up the production of artillery rounds in particular. Europe, if you remember, promised 1 million artillery rounds to Ukraine. It looks like they're not even going to meet half of that target by the deadline set of next month. They still say that they're going to make up the remaining 600,000 by the end of the year, but Ukraine is at the moment fighting against a Russian army that is very much on the offensive all along the front line, with an artillery disadvantage that Mr. Umerov, the defense minister, actually put at only 3-1, but soldiers that I've spoken to and who've been quoted in numerous media are putting it closer to 5-1, the firepower disadvantage that Ukraine currently has against the Russians. Clearly, they are having to save on ammunition and not fire all the rounds that they would like to in order to secure their own security, the soldiers on the front line, for fear that they might run out.
All right, Gulliver, thanks for that. France 24's Gulliver Cragg in Kyiv.